everybody. I can't tell if anybody is here. Um, my name is Nishia Lee, and I'm an art teacher. And I'm going into my 18th year of teaching art, all the way from pre-K to 8th grade. Alrighty. So today we are going to be making a Father's Day card, and I hope that you have your supplies ready. I'm going to show you the supplies that we are going to use, and the supplies are very simple, okay? But to tell you first, we are going to be making a paper weaving, all right? So I don't know if you have ever made a paper weaving, but it's really easy, and I'm going to show you all the supplies you need, and then you are going to add your own flavor to your Father's Day slash Father Figure Day card. Alrighty? So, and this is Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth. So, my card is going to be um, a tribute to Juneteenth. So, here I have the Juneteenth colors in my construction paper. So, I have black, green, yellow, and red. Alrighty, so those are the colors that I'm going to be using today. I also have some white. Alrighty, so we're going to use this as well. And two, this is your card, so you can make it the way that you want it. I'm just giving you the basic supplies, the basic directions, and then you can use your own creativity in order to finish your card. Alrighty, so I showed you the construction paper that I'm going to use. I also will use a glue stick, just a regular glue stick, any brand. And I also have some of my favorite Sharpies. I love Sharpies. So I have Sharpies and some more markers and some various colors, all related to Juneteenth. Okay. I also have some scissors. Now, on your list, you should have had safety scissors. See, I have regular adult scissors. You use safety scissors, all right? Because no trips to the emergency room on Juneteenth. Okay? All right. And also, you can always get your parents to help you if you need a little bit of help. Alrighty? So, right now, I am going to start by making the loom. And the loom is actually the part that we weave into. Alrighty? So, you're going to need your construction paper and you're going to need your scissors right now. All right? So on this one, my base, as far as my loom, was green. It doesn't matter which color you start with. It really doesn't matter. So this time I'm just going to start with red. All right. So I have red. And the first thing you want to do is fold it in half. All right. So we're going to fold it like this. Make sure the edges are even before you fold it all the way. So I am folding my edges, making sure they're even. Great. All right, so that's pretty even. So now I'm going to crease this, and I'm going to make a nice crease. So I'm going to use my nails like this, and I'm going to crease this right here. All right, so now I have something that looks like this. All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds to catch up, just in case you have not. All right, so this is what I have now. Okay, this is going to be our loom. All right, Loom. Okay, now there is an open side and there is a closed side. We want to cut on the closed side. Okay, so at this time right now, you want to get your safety scissors, not these big scissors, your safety scissors. Okay, okay. So we're going to cut into the folded side and not all the way to the end. Do not go all the way to the end because you would just cut a piece off. Okay. So you want to go to about like right here, which will be almost an inch away from the edge. All right. So watch me first and then you do it. Okay. So I have my scissors and I am cutting in. I would consider this an inch. Now, the best thing to do is try to make sure your scissors are like nice and straight because you don't want to cut on an angle because that's not going to work, okay? Make sure your scissors are like nice and straight. Make sure your paper is like nice and straight in front of you. and then you can start cutting. All right. And notice where I'm stopping. I'm stopping right here. That right there. Don't go any further. Okay, this is where I cut. Remember, you don't want to cut all the way to the end, or else you would just cut this piece off, and we don't want that. All right, so I've made my first cut. This cut looks good. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to try to be as straight as possible, and I'm going to try to make the pieces about the same thickness. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just do your best in trying to make a straight cut with your safety scissors, and do not go to the end. Okay? All right. So you just watched me. I'm going to do it again, and then I want you to do it. And we're going to cut all the way to about 1 inch off of this other edge. All right? So I'm going to cut mine very slowly, just in case you need to watch me. All right? Here's my second cut. Okay. Here's my next cut. And I'm just cutting on until I get to the end. Also notice that well, you can't see, but my arm, this one, is on the counter. This is giving me some support so that I can cut better. You don't want to try to cut like this, because you might cut a little crooked this way. Use your table or desk as a support, for the arm that is holding the paper, and then cut here. Even some people, you might even use the table to support this arm too. All right, whatever works for you, but just do not cut up in the air like this. All right, here I go. I'm cutting this loom. Again, my next cut. Again, if you need to get your parents or whoever is there to help you, you are welcome to do that. All right, so I'm almost done. I have to make one more cut. Okay. All right. So this is my loom. Notice how it looks. Notice I didn't go all the way to the edge. All right. So when I open it up, it looks like this. Okay. So this is our loom. And we are going to put this aside for a second, because now we need to make our weaving strips. Okay. So put this aside. Now you can decide what color you're going to use to make your strips. Okay, I'm going to pick black this time. Now, for some reason, my black paper and my red paper weren't the same size, but let's see. I think it's going to work out anyway. Already. So I'm going to cut strips out of this paper, and I am going to cut strips this way. All right. So let's cut this together. So take the paper, whatever color you're going to use to make your strips, and we're going to fold it in half again. And the reason why we're folding it in half is just to make left cuts. Okay. So we're folding it in half. And this, so now I have this in half. And then we're going to cut long strips. And these are the strips we're going to use to weave into this paper. Alrighty, everybody ready? Okay, you got your scissors? Alright. Okay, so now I got my scissors. And you want to kind of make the strips the same size. If they're not the same size, that's fine too. If you're weaving the lines look a little bit wavy, that's okay. That's something called abstract art. Perfectly fine, all right? Your weaving will just be a little bit abstract, and there is nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I have my scissors. I have my paper that I'm going to weave. I need to cut my strips. So here I go. Cutting. And this time I'm going all the way to the end. All the way to the end. See them falling off as I cut? All right. Remember, anytime you're using scissors, you need to be very careful. No one wants to go to the emergency room today. At all. All right, including me. Okay. So I have to be careful too. Alrighty, so I'm almost there. Alright. Now the last piece that's still folded, actually, yeah, I'm just going to cut this little skinny piece off the end. And then I'll have all separate pieces. Okay, so now I have several pieces. And this is what I'm going to use to weave into this. Okay, because I'm going to come out with something that looks like this. And actually, I'm going to add like another little piece to give a little funkiness to this. I'm going to do this at the end. All right, so now you need your loom, and you need your weaving strips, and you need your glue. All right, and the glue stick works much better than liquid glue. But if that's all you have, like the liquid glue, the Elmer's glue, use that. But this works better because the Elmer's glue is very wet. Okay, so now, very simple. Over, under, over, under. All right, so I'm going to start my first one, and I'm going to actually tilt my camera down so you can see what I am doing. Okay, so I hope everybody is keeping up. All right, so I'm moving my camera so I can tilt it downward. Okay, all right, I hope you can see that okay. Okay, so I have here my loom. I have here my paper strip. And I'm going to start, it doesn't matter if you start over or you start under, it doesn't matter. It's just up to you. What matters is how you start the next one, okay? So I started under, over, under, over. And you know you're doing it right when you see the color pattern, okay? So the pattern I have going here is red, black, red, black, red, black, and so on. Okay, now I am going to slide this down here this way. So you see this here? I don't want it like this out. I want to slide it to the end of the cut. And now I'm going to secure the ends with my glue stick, okay? So once I know that I have it where I want it, and that's where I want it, I am going to secure both ends. So I'll secure this end, take my glue stick. All right, put it there. Okay, press it down and hold it a little bit. And now I'm going to turn my paper over because I also need to secure the back as well. So I turned my paper over, put the glue stick there, and now I have my first row. All right, it looks like nothing now, but that second row really makes it look good, okay? Okay, so now I have my second piece. So the first one I started with the red on top. Now I have to start with the red on the bottom, okay? So the black is now going over the red, okay? And this is very important because this is what makes it look like a weave. All right, so you see that? Notice that right here. See that? Okay, red, black. And the next one will be red, black, okay? All right. Now, if you happen to have cut another piece of paper, you can do a different color. I'm keeping it simple. I'm actually going to add a third color in at the end, okay? Alrighty, so just that quickly, I have done my second row. All right, so what's the next thing I do? Who can tell me? I can't see you. Raise your hand. I can't see you. But anyway, the next thing I do is glue down the ends, okay? So I'm going to put some glue here, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to glue the back, all right? This helps to secure it in place. Alrighty, so let's go to our next one. Okay, this is where we are right now, okay? All right, going to my next row. That one was over, so that means this one is under, okay? As long as you're seeing your pattern of whatever color you use, you are on the right path already. So here we go, just that quick. I've already done my next row. Okay, all right, and so I glue this down. Now this one, I can put enough glue, so that might happen to you if you look If it looks like the end is popping up, just put a little bit more glue. Okay, so let me go into my ends here. Alrighty, turn it over, glue on the back, do it again. Alrighty, so now I'm in a good kind of flow right now, so I can just keep it going. All right, so the last one was under, so that means this one is over. All right, over, under, over, under. There you go. Slide it into position. All right, looking good. Add a little bit of glue on the end. Okay. Now, if it slips out like I just did, all you have to do is reposition it. Okay. All right. Turn it over. Add glue on this side. Great. Now, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I might try to get a little fancy right now. I'm thinking that I might go ahead and add like a yellow. I'm thinking I might do that. I think I'm going to do some yellow right here, and then I'm going to go back to the black. So what do I do? So if you're doing something like this, what are the steps again to cut my strips? I take my piece of paper, I fold it in half. Now, only do this if you actually want to use some colors in between. Otherwise, you can just keep going with the strips that you already have cut. Like I said, I just thought about being fancy right now, so I'm going to cut some yellow strips, all right? I have my scissors. I just folded it in half, and I am going to cut some strips of this yellow, and then I'm going to use the yellow for a little bit, and then I'm going to, actually, I might go to yellow, then green. I don't know. I'm just kind of creating as I'm going. And that's kind of like the same thing I'm sure you're doing. You're just being creative in the moment. And then in the moment, things change. Okay? All right. So now I have some yellow strips. So now I'm going to start leaving. So again, it doesn't matter that I changed the color. The last strip I did, I started under. So now this strip, I have to start over. All right, so I'm starting over with this yellow. I'm glad I made that decision to change this to yellow. I like it already. Okay. All right, over, under, over, under. Okay. Raise your hand if you're happy the cicadas are gone. I don't know where you are, where you're tuning in from, but let me tell you, the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area, we were overloaded with the 17-year cicada broad X. They stay in the ground for 17 years and then they come out to terrify us. So I think they're gone. I went outside and I didn't have to duck. So it was pretty good. All right. So I don't know where you are, but just know millions of cicadas coming out the ground after 17 years is not pretty. Okay. So look, I have my next row and I secured the end with the glue, and so I have to turn it over and secure the other end. All right, there you go. So now I'm going to decide how many strips of this yellow I'm going to do just by looking at it. I might just do 2 because actually this is going to fold and make our card. Okay, you see that? Looking pretty good if I don't say so myself. Alrighty, so I'm going to do another, maybe I'll do 2 more strips of yellow. Okay, so the last time I started over, so what do I start with now? Under. All right, under, over, under, over. Would you believe that I went into a store and a cicada was on top of my head? It was the worst. I went into a store, I was looking around, and something felt funny. And I put my hand on top of my head, and the cicada was taking a free ride. And so I just knocked him or her off of my head. And I first wanted to just stomp the cicada. I know that doesn't sound good, but I did because I don't know if you know what a cicada looks like. They have these big red eyes and they have these black and reddish orange bodies, and they're really creepy looking. But I didn't stop it. But I think somebody ran over it with the cart later on, so justice was served. Um, okay, I did my next row here. I am really liking this. I'm going to do one more row of yellow, and then I think I'm going to switch to green. All right, so my last one was over. All right, so this one is going to be under, over, under, over. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Here I am, pushing it down. Perfect. Now, this might happen to you where maybe the end part will stick out like this. At the end, for our refining and finishing, you can just clip that end off, okay? Alrighty, so I'm going to position this, put some glue on the bottom, and put some glue here at the top. And now I'm going to switch to green. I am so fancy. Alrighty, so you see that little piece right there that's sticking out? I can go ahead and take my scissors and just trim that piece right there. All right, just a little bit. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm going to do my green. Okay. So again, I'm using another color. And then, at the end of this video broadcast, well, we're live. So you might want to do some extra stuff to your card. That's fine. This is always a good place to start. So I'm doing some green, and I'm only going to need a few green strips. So I just folded it in half, got my scissors, making some strips. Okay. Alrighty. Raise your hand if you're excited that summer break is coming up. My hand is raised. Yep, my hand is raised. I don't get out of school for another 2 days. I'm so excited. I'm tired. Virtuous learning. I'm not virtuous learning. We are at Virtuous Con. Virtual learning has been tough, especially for the art teacher. All right, my green. I'm starting over, under, over, under. All right, but we will be back in the building in the fall, and I have all types of cool stuff planned to do with my students, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm really looking forward to this summer break, and I'm so happy the cicadas are going to be gone. All right, here we go. Secure my ends. Now we have about 10 more minutes before this broadcast is over. So I am going to quickly finish the last part of this weaving. Okay. All right. Now, again, I am going, this last one was under, so this one is over. Okay. And I'm sure your father figure, your father, your grandpa, it could be a coach, it could be whoever is that father or father figure in your life. I know they're going to love this card. Trust me. They're going to be so amazed, and you're going to be like, oh, it was so simple, but don't tell them any of your secrets, okay? Don't tell anybody any of your artistic secrets. Okay. All right. So here we have, I glued on the end, and I'm going to glue on the other end now, and I'm just going to do one more strip. One more strip. Notice here, this one is sticking out at the end a little bit. Take my scissors, trim it. All right, this is the last strip I'm going to put in. Now, I'm also going to show you something that you can do that's kind of, that if you want to, can make it kind of funky. So now, the last strip might be the hardest one because that's the part that is right at the edge. What you can do, if it's giving you problems, you can kind of cut the strip down and make it a little skinnier, which will give you a little bit more space. For me, it's actually working out pretty fine, so I don't have to cut this. So, but this one is the hardest one to weave, but it's not that hard, but it's the hardest to weave. Okay, see, I'm almost done. Alrighty, so now, okay, there, very simple, that is done. Alrighty, so now I am going to glue the ends. Okay, look at that. That looks pretty good. I do say so myself. Now, so simply, look, if you did it nice and neat, it doesn't matter which side is the front. Okay, so I'm going to trim that. Okay, so now you can decide, well, now which side do I like better for my Father's Day card? I don't know, I like both sides, guys. Which one to pick? I think I like, okay, I'll go with this. Now, so here is the front of my card. Here is the inside. This is where your white paper comes into play. Now, the white paper is where you can write your greeting, add some color, and then glue it on. So, for example, or maybe you don't want to use the white paper. Maybe you want to use more of the yellow paper. So as long as the paper is, well, if it's black, you're going to have to use like a metallic marker, or that won't show up. If it's yellow, you can use yellow. You can use red. You can use any color you want to do. So all I want to do right here, I'm making this paper a little bit smaller. So I folded it in half, and then I'm creasing it, or you can simply cut it with your scissors. It's up to you. So I'm just going to cut this with my scissors, and then I'm going to cut this again. So the reason why you could fold it in half is to make sure that it's even. Okay, so I'm cutting this in half, and then I'm going to cut right on my fold. Okay, because I don't want it too. Okay, you see that? So I made a smaller piece. Now this is a piece I can glue down right here and write Happy Father's Day or Happy Father Figure Day. I can draw directly on this with my Sharpie. I love Sharpies. I can also take another color and put it on the inside of this one to make it look even funkier. Let's try that. Well, I already had some green cut right here, so I could cut it again to make it fit inside of this rectangle. And let me fold this in half. You see that? It's just a smaller piece of paper. I like this. I like this part right here. Okay. So look at this. I have these two sheets of paper here. I have the base for my card. And I think I'm going to do that right there. And then when I write with black on this, that's going to look really good. But I'm not going to write on top of this. I'm going to move this to the side because I don't want to get my marker on that. So I got these two smaller pieces of paper here. I'm just going to put some glue on this one here. Make sure the edges are good. I'm going to put it right there. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make some really just basic kind of funky designs on it. Maybe I'll just do some zigzags around the edges, or maybe some triangles. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to do some freehand triangles around the edge. Now, you can spend more time doing this and making it look very neat when we get off of this broadcast. It's up to you. You use your creativity. This is your card, all right? So I'm just doing my triangles kind of quickly, freehand. I'm not using a ruler. Now, if you wanted to do this after we get off the broadcast and use a ruler, you can certainly do that, okay? All righty, because we literally have about 4 minutes left. Alrighty, so this is why I love Sharpie. Sharpies just show up. All right, so I got some triangles here. I might color some in. All right, so I'm just going to just do two. All right, to show you. Okay, so now I have this. All right, remember this is not finished. But I have this part. This is the main part. This is finished. And then I can just glue this right on top of here. And then I can write Happy Father's Day or Happy Father Figures Day or whatever it is that you want to write. Also, I recommend that you write lightly in pencil first, just to make sure that you have enough space. Now, if you want to turn it this way, this will work. If you want to have it where it's this way, that will work too. And actually, there's more space this way. So I'm just going to write Happy Father's Day. All right. And then when you open it up, you can add another piece of paper on the inside to write a special note. Okay. And then glue that down. Okay. So I am going to write on here Happy Father's Day very quickly. Happy Father's And now you don't even have to write this. You can write something like Dad, you rock, or Granddad, you rock, or whatever you want to write. Okay? Happy Father's Day. Alrighty, so now I got 2 minutes with you, so I'm gonna go back and actually, like I said, I'm gonna move this out the way because I don't want to get spots on my base. And now I'm just kind of making these triangles look a little bit better. Like I said, you have more time today. You go back. I'll continue working while you're in the zone, and you make this card special. Okay, you might have some stickers or something like that you might want to put in the card, or you might even have some metallic markers or some glitter markers. Now, I'm not a big fan of glitter. Glitter, I don't know, something about kids. I've been teaching kids like I'm going on 18 years, and you kids love to put glitter on everything. And our teachers do not like glitter. So I'm going to say you can put glitter on your card because it's your card. But let me know. Your art teacher at your school does not like glitter. Take it from me. We do not like glitter. It gets everywhere. And I don't know. Kids just want to put glitter on everything. So that's a whole nother story. All right. So I quickly colored this. I literally have 30 seconds. Thank you so much for joining us today at Virtuous Pond. I hope you had a great time. Just doing a simple paper weaving. But look, it's simple but so fabulous, right? Okay, doing a simple paper weaving for a happy Father's Day, Father Figures Day card. Again, you can add whatever type of details you might want. Um, but whatever it is, just make it your own, okay? And remember, draw with pencil first when you're writing your words out. You want to make sure that it could fit. I'm going to make sure and glue this down. And I might do some little designs even on this part. Look at this. Look at for the last minute. Look, I'm just doing a circle right here. All right, so you can even get even more in detail. All right, you guys have a good day. And thank you so much for joining me today. Alrighty? Bye. This is Miss Lee signing out.